The Murder Shelf Book Club contains disturbing content related to real-life crimes. Listener discretion is advised.
Old cops and veteran detectives talk about knowing the streets. But for me, it's the underbelly of the streets that's the most important. The gutter that flows to the sewer. The sewer that flows like a river of intel and knowledge is all but hidden to the good people walking above ground. When you're searching for evil, you gotta go where the devil plays. I gotta deal with people, all kinds of people. But the reality is, the sewer sometimes has the experts I need. I gotta go into the sewer and let the current take me wherever I need to go. And that's exactly what I did. From Swans Don't Swim in a Sewer, Solving the Cold Case of the Flint River Killer's Daughter by Sheryl McCollum. Welcome to the Murder Shelf Book Club podcast. I am your host, Jill. Today, I am thrilled to present a special episode 145, on Swans Don't Swim in a Sewer, Solving the Cold Case of the Flint River Killer's Daughter by Sheryl McCollum. Now, I'm especially excited because you know Sheryl McCollum. You've seen her discussing crime analysis on TV and presenting at CRIMECON, and she does all of her wine and crimes. She is an Atlanta Metropolitan CSI, the director of the Cold Case Investigative Research Institute, and the founder of Wildlife CSI, which you have heard me rave about. She's also the host of true crime podcast Zone 7 with Sheryl McCollum, and she is back on the Murder Shelf Book Club podcast. Today, though, she is back talking about her true crime book, Swans Don't Live in a Sewer. And I have never heard anything like this before. And you know how many true crime cases that I have read about. This one, oh my God, there has never been a case like this in history. So with this introduction, let me welcome Sheryl McCollum to the Murder Shelf Book Club podcast. Hey, Sheryl.
Thank you. Jill, I tell you, I've been looking forward to talking to you. We've talked a lot off air, but it's always fun to get it on tape so people can hear it.
Yes, absolutely. So what's new?
Nothing. Same old. Just, trying to get a book published. I tell you, you've had a book club for a long time, and you are an avid reader and much more professional than I am in this whole area. But it is something to write a book. I look at somebody like Dr. Ramsland and I'm like, 70 plus? How on earth? Because this was quite an undertaking for me. It was not an easy thing. It didn't come naturally. I can talk all day, Jim. But putting that kind of thing to paper, especially something that means so much to me, it's not easy at all.
I think it is taking part of your soul and trying to put that in words.
Right.
So, yeah.
And it's also one of those things, I know it. I feel it. I understand it in a way that maybe other people don't right off the bat. So trying to bring them to where I'm at with it, my understanding. And then the other thing, it's like writing vows. I don't know that I've done it justice. I mean, what I would not do for Walt is a very short list. I can promise you. Super tiny. So vows to me almost fell short of how I felt and what I would promise him in front of God and country. So with this book, it's kind of like I want people to truly understand what it is to work a case, a homicide, especially a cold case. And, a lot of people gave me some flack when I was doing the case because the way I went about it, there were some people that I respect a whole lot that did not understand the avenue that I chose. But for me, and I know you understand this because we've sat and talked at length, but you don't get to pick your victims. And you certainly don't get to pick who helps you all the time. And sometimes it comes to you and sometimes you got to go get it.
Yes, I agree with that. I've heard that. I don't know myself. You said before, you really have to wade through what it is necessary to get through, to get to the information, to get to the truth.
Right.
To figure out especially in a cold case.
Agreed.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you did send me a little something.
You are the first person that I have shared the author's note with.
Okay. And I want to share this, if you don't mind, so people have an idea kind of where this whole story began.
Mm-hmm.
So you said, the woman's eyes betrayed the otherwise determined look about her. This is my daughter, Melissa. She spoke in a soft, rural Georgia accent that was instantly familiar. Her pleading eyes teared up as she continued. She was beheaded in Atlanta. Will you help me? Oh my God.
Yeah, that's the first time Norma, Melissa's mother, and I spoke. And it's one of those situations I didn't need to hear anymore. I didn't need to know anymore. Of course, I will help you the best I can in whatever way we can think of, whatever that is. And sometimes people come to me because they want to get to Nancy Grace or they want to get to somebody else that I know because they think media attention will help. They're not wrong. And if you can use me as a conduit, honey, come on. Because there are cases that I need to bring to her because she is who she is. And she can get it in front of people that the rest of us cannot collectively. So let's do that. Here's the first thing that happened. When she turned the picture around, the frame, and I saw the picture, and she said she was beheaded in Atlanta. Jill, I could not think of a case where a young Caucasian female had been beheaded, and I couldn't understand why I had never heard of this case. How is it possible? Not because I'm anybody, but all of my friends, my circle, they're all somebody. So between the detectives and the majors and the chiefs and all these people that I know, somebody would have mentioned that case. Nobody ever mentioned it. Well, then I found out later why that was the case. When she went missing, she was married, 21, a mother of 2. Her mama lived in another jurisdiction. Couldn't really be for sure, did she go missing from Atlanta or somewhere else? Well, the Atlanta police can't take a case that ain't a case. If she decided to run away or just take a powder, not deal with her family, she has every right to do that. There was no cause for concern from her husband. There was no blood. There was no body. There was nothing that would lead anybody to think that there was criminal activity. Well, then her mama went to her own local police department, basically got the same advice. Ma'am, we don't have a reason to believe anything has happened. Her husband hadn't called anybody, friends, co-workers, nobody is saying she's missing but you. So there's nothing they can do. It's a non-case. So Atlanta never knew anything about her. So that's why I never heard anything about her. Well, by the time she's identified, because Jill, she was misidentified. She was misidentified. The skull was found, just her skull, That's it.
Oh.
She's misidentified as a Caucasian male. Well, at the time, Atlanta had no missing Caucasian males. They had no Caucasian bodies without a head. So literally her skull was put on a shelf.
Oh my God.
And technically, Atlanta didn't have her as a missing person. So either way, she was going to get no activity, no investigation whatsoever.
Well, why would you connect a missing woman with a male skull sitting on a shelf?
Correct. You would not.
It's a black hole. She just fell into a black hole.
It was the perfect storm for her killer. No doubt about it.
Oh my God.
So that's when I first met her mom. And her mom, when she came to the event, I was speaking. I was doing one of our whining crimes, as you know. And she just came to it. And it was kind of a black tie event. And out of the corner of my eye, I see this woman walk in. Now I'm up talking, but I see her and everybody else is in black tie. And she's wearing Bermuda shorts, a tight top, and a straw hat.
Huh.
So, I ain't the greatest investigator, but I knew she didn't belong,
Right.
So I watched her. Well, as she turned the corner, I could see she was holding a frame. Well, I knew she was somebody's mama, either missing or murdered. So as soon as I got done, I walked straight to talk to her. And that's when she told me, this is my daughter. She was beheaded in Atlanta. Will you help me? And so I told her, I said, listen, this isn't the best environment, obviously, for us to have a real conversation. But absolutely, we will do whatever we can. But you need to come meet me at my office next week when it's quiet and just us. And so that's how it happened. But the way she heard about me is through a high school buddy. So Melissa's sister, Tina, worked at a diner and she ran the counter. And my friend would go in there about every day. She was a real estate agent. So she would go there most mornings and get coffee or a little breakfast. So they talked every day. Tina is lively and funny. She's a great time. Well, this one particular day, Tina's not herself. She's a little sad and not really talkative. So my friend Donna says, Tina, what's going on? And she said, it's just a hard day. I don't know if you know this, but my sister was murdered. And this is around the anniversary, and it's always hard for me. And she said, no, I didn't know that. And she said, well, it's been cold for decades, but it just doesn't ever get easier. And she said, well, you need to talk to my friend from high school. So gave her the information. Well, Tina goes and tells her mother. Her mother talks to the father because dad still kind of is the head of the family. So they don't want to do anything that he doesn't approve of. And
Sure.
Dad gave the green light. Yes, go talk to her. So that's when she just popped up at a speaking event. So that's how the whole thing started.
Oh, this 6 degrees of separation.
Right.
We are all interconnected. We just haven't realized what the connections are yet.
I agree with that. It's a small world.
Yeah. So you, without really knowing anything, you agree to work with her.
Sure.
And you start digging into Melissa Wolfenberger, right?
Right. Exactly. Melissa Wolfenberger. But let's talk about one thing you just said that I think is critical for folks to understand. I'm still an active crime scene investigator. When 911 calls and dispatches me somewhere, I don't know anything about those people. I know nothing. I know zero unless I have responded before for some reason. But typically, if you're talking about race, religion, gender, socioeconomic status, I have no idea until I get there. And then it becomes part of the victimology or suspectology. But it has nothing to do whether or not I'm going to respond, whether or not I'm going to work. So again, when a mama says, this is my daughter, she was beheaded, will you help me? Today, ma'am, yes. I don't need to know anymore. But as you know, Jill, there was more.
Yes. Oh, dear.
And it's one of those things that has never happened in my career. It will never happen again. This case is like no other in history. It's never happened before. So this case, she comes to my office. I'll tell y'all this part. She has a binder with her. Now, keep in mind, I ain't been able to find anybody that knows the case. And I've asked around now because she's coming to meet with me. Nope, nobody knows it. Nope, nobody's heard of it. Okay. She sits down with that binder. I instinctively reach for it because I want to get in this thing. I need some information on how in the world this has been missed by everybody that I respect in Atlanta. As I reach out, she puts her hand on the top of it. And she said, I know you've already agreed to help me, but I've got to tell you something first. And I said, okay. She said, my husband is in prison for murder, and I helped him. Now, Jill, most people lie to me, right? Most people try to put a little lipstick on the pig. So for her just to come right out and confess to helping her husband murder somebody, I need a little more information. So
you think?
I mean, it just, again, in 45 years, it ain't never happened. So just saying. So as you know, I try to lead with humor. So I said to her, okay, well, remind me not to make you mad, like joking. And she laughed, thankfully. So then she started to tell me the crimes that her husband committed in the 70s. As she talked, there were things familiar. There were parts of this story I'd heard before. And so the more she talked, the more familiar things sounded. So finally I said to her, wait a minute. Are you telling me your husband is the Flint River killer? And she said, yes. Jill, right then and there, my mind is 5 years down the road. So I'm already thinking there is a serial killer that is a true victim of crime. His daughter has been brutally murdered. And he has reached out not only to law enforcement for help, but for me and our nonprofit, the Cold Case Investigative Research Institute. I can tell you that's never happened in history, ever. I mean, any serial killer you can name, they may have become a victim themselves, like Jeffrey Dahmer. But I'm talking about a family member also murdered. Has never happened. For them themselves to reach out to law enforcement for help. Hadn't happened. So now I'm like, okay, I know who I want to bring in. I know what I want to do right off the bat. So my mind is burning. 0 to 100. And, the more I learned about the victim, Melissa Wolfenberger, the more the suspectology for me became pretty clear. I mean, we worked it like we would any cold case. We tried different things. We tried several things you'll see in the book, some unusual, some should have been automatic for people, but for us, the case kind of shifted in waves. So the first thing I did was I understood Norma. Then I understood Melissa's sister, Tina. But then it became, for me, imperative that I got to know Carl. So that's when my relationship with Carl started.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, it was unusual because he was still in prison. They refused to let us meet. So our entire relationship was through letters and the occasional cell phone he could procure. And now, you know how that goes. So we had to develop a code of how he would ring my phone so that I would answer because it was always a different number. And sometimes I wouldn't answer, and that would frustrate him because he had limited time, obviously. So then we had a code that I knew that special ring, so I would pick up the next time. So that's how it all started.
Well, my mind is blown. But I have to stop for a second and think, in the cold cases that I have researched, read about, looked into, I hate to say this, but it seems like everyone seemed to begin with a case file.
Mm-hmm.
And you have crime scene photos, and you have fingerprints, and maybe DNA, and it may have gotten disordered over the years, but this didn't exist for her because no one realized it was a crime.
Right. In the beginning, they didn't even have all of her body parts. They only had a skull. It was 4 months down the road that they did another canvas and found 4 more trash bags containing her arms and legs. So it was not only a cold case. She was not only misidentified. There was nothing that linked her to the evidence they did have at the time. Her name didn't surface for 4 years.
Oh my. Wow. That's kind of starting out meager. I mean, they have eventually body parts and a skull that they haven't connected yet. But wow, I give you credit because when you said that you were going to absolutely help this woman, there's no question in your mind. I immediately thought, help her. Where do you even start?
Well, I'll tell you where. The very first place you start is you care. You care about what happened to her child, regardless of the sins of the father, regardless of the sins of the mother. You know, what happened to Melissa, she did not deserve. No. Period. So that's the first thing, to let the family know we're going to work for her, and understanding your background, which I did. Again, the loss of a child, I just don't think anything can equal that.
No.
I just don't. And so, yes, Carl deserved to be in prison. Carl did some horrendous things. Carl killed innocent people. But he would be the first to tell you he did not even realize what he did to other families until Melissa was taken from him.
Okay, there you are.
I mean, he told me on multiple occasions. Once, getting physically choked up. And keep in mind, there was nothing I could do for him. I never sent him money. We weren't friends like that. You know what I mean? We understood each other's role in this whole thing. Let me say that.
Oh, good.
I wanted to solve this case for the family. I wanted there to be justice for Melissa. But I'm saying I understood, and Carl understood, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. I mean, that's a very, like I said, it's never happened in history. I can't think of a serial killer who's been in a position of, please help me because this horrendous thing happened to me.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
You know, unless it's the narcissism that they're, I'm really innocent and this is a miscarriage of justice. And that's not even close to what we're talking about here.
Right.
Yeah, well, he's staying in his lane in really dad mode. I'm a parent who's lost a child.
Yep.
You stay there. It's not that anything else is irrelevant, but not to figuring out what happened to Melissa.
Right. But here's what dawned on me. What better way to catch a killer than to use a serial killer as bait?
Ooh.
So the more I talked to Carl, and the more I understood his crimes, and the more he talked to me about the person that we believed killed Melissa, Carl could draw that person out. Carl could shed light on this crime like no one else could.
Right. Because now he's looking at it through killer filter.
That's right.
At a potential killer.
That's right.
Alleged, I hate that word, killer.
That's right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, no, that's a resource. You have to use it. I mean, it's a resource.
There was no one better to get advice from than Carl Patton in that regard.
Holy moly.
How do you look at this crime? How do you see who more than likely did it? Again, you have detectives that are trained to say, okay, who's the last person to see her alive? How close proximity was the body dumping site to A, B, C, or D? But when you have a killer telling you this is what probably transpired inside the house, you have to listen to that. It's just as valid.
In a way, it's almost more valid. I mean, you're looking at the data and the research and the probabilities. You start your concentric circle, start from in, you work your way out as you're investigating people. But he's an
expert.
Yeah, really. It's a horrible expertise, but here he finds himself in a situation when his daughter is dead.
That's right.
Oh, wow. I hope you all see why you have to buy this book. This is amazing. This is incredible.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, it was certainly one of those that, the closer you get to retirement, you kind of look back over your career and you're like, hey, that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. I'm proud of that. But this case, I will tell you, will be one of those things that I probably talk about as much in retirement as any of the other things I've done.
Yeah, I understand that. I see that. Holy mackerel. Just timeline for me. Carl is arrested, tried, he's convicted, he goes to prison. When was Melissa killed? Well, he was in prison, arrested, much later.
Okay, so Carl committed his crimes in the 70s. He was not caught until the 90s because of DNA. Okay. There was victim's blood on a pillow that was taken from his home, the scene of the crime. But again, it wasn't tested for 2 decades. Melissa goes missing before Carl is arrested. But we now know missing, she was already murdered.
Right.
Then Carl goes to prison. Then after he's in prison is when the skull is correctly identified. And he's told that she's not a missing person. She's a homicide victim.
Oof. He must have lost his mind. I mean, it's bad enough to think your child's missing and out there and the million scenarios that go through your mind of what happened to my child. But now the man is locked up. He can't even pick up a phone freely and make an inquiry. He's stuck.
Correct.
And can't do anything for his little girl. Because what parent, I don't care how deviant you are, but there's always something there towards your offspring.
Listen,
it may not be robust love that the normal people, in quotes, feel, but there is a connection. If nothing else, she belonged to him and somebody killed her.
All right, let me be clear. Carl was one of the most loyal family people. You know how probably every woman listening to this has had a father, uncle, male cousin, somebody in their life have said to them, if any man ever hurts you, I'll kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Carl Patton meant it. It wasn't just words. So the first person he killed for his aunt.
Oh, I did not know that.
Right or wrong, but that's how Carl saw the world. You come at me and mine, you won't take another breath.
Yeah, you don't do that. That's wrong.
What I'm saying, some of this...
I can see why that shook out that way.
Exactly.
Now, Norma also then finds this. He's in jail and whatever's gone on with them or helping him or what. She's out, though, when she's talking to you.
Yes.
And asking you to help her.
Yes. So Norma turned state's evidence and testified against Carl. Carl didn't even require a trial. He admitted to all the killings. He walked into separate courtrooms in Fayette, Henry, DeKalb County, admitted it. And that's another point of contention he had, that he would say, you know what, when I got caught, I manned up. I admitted it. And that's a conversation we had over and over.
Huh.
But here's one thing I would love to point out. When you're reading the book, what I hope people see are the amount of people that signed on to help and didn't want a thing, Jill. They don't want any money. They don't want any credit. They didn't want some big social media brag and post. A lot of these folks, y'all are going to be shocked. When I reached out to them, yes, knowing all the players, knowing that this is going to be a tough, extremely intricate type investigation. People spent their own money, their own time, their own expertise to see what they could do for Melissa. And that's something I want people to really, I guess, just appreciate as much as I do. Because, you get some people, and I'll just name one here, but, Nancy Grace, it ain't like she ain't busy. When I tell you, from the minute her feet hit the floor till the minute she falls out at night, somebody wants something from her every 15 minutes. A call, a nonprofit, a podcast, a news thing, a reporter from a magazine or something. Like, there's just something all the time. I've been on a car trip with her. I was stunned by the number of interviews, the number of calls, the number of questions, pleas for help, bargaining. Can you do this? Can you do that? How much time can you give? Can you do this speech? It's unbelievable. So when I call her, say, hey, I want you to go out to this crime scene with me and just walk it with me. Tell me, am I missing something? She ain't got 2 hours.
Right.
But she gave it anyway. Karen Greer, Dr. Dwayne Thompson. I mean, there's all these people that, yes, I will help. Yes, I'll look at it. Paul Holes, talk to me. Mac, what do you got? Generous. I mean, I can name person after person after person. Unbelievable. That sat with me, talked with me. You included.
Thank you.
But it's the truth. And, it's one of those things sometimes, the more you talk things out, you start to think of things. But when I tell you, nobody asked me for any type of payment, any type of attention, any type of just acknowledgement. And that's what I want people to know, because I teach my children. I mean, I shove this on them, that love wins. And it does.
Yes.
I mean, I can give you 1,000 examples, but this case is one. I don't know the number of man hours put on this case by volunteers, but we started in 2017. I'll tell you that. So.
Whoa.
Yep.
See, that to me is the heart of this. Like I said, you're in the sewer. You're in the sewer with evil, chasing evil down.
Yep.
And you got all these people who are doing it with you. And that's for love of a fellow human being. It's just being human.
That's right.
That ultimate kindness that, I have this expertise. I'll look at this with you. And You're right. When you have these minds come in and you start, spitballing, what happened here? What do you think happened there?
Right.
How'd you get from point A to point B? The shades lift, the sun starts to shine in the room, and you start putting together what happened.
Yeah.
That's absolutely phenomenal. Thank you. That to me is the heart of the book right there. You want justice, and that can be such an abstract term, because for everybody who's been involved in any kind of crime, how you define justice is dramatically different from another person.
Yeah.
This is not abstract.
Amen.
Yeah. This is just solid. This is people coming together to do the right thing, to help right a terrible, terrible wrong. That pursuit of justice, again, the definition is very personal to the people who are involved in it.
Yeah.
So, Miss Sheryl here, when can we get this book?
It will be out in May. I believe the target date is May 14th, but it is at the publisher. My part is done. They're just printing it all. So it should be about May 14th.
And we can pre-order, right?
You can pre-order. Yes, please pre-order. And here's the thing. I will be at CRIMECON. They're going to do a little launch party there, I think, and we can all be together. And I'm going to have some of the folks that are characters in the book that you're going to get to know, and they'll be there live and in person. And I think that'll make the book come alive for people too.
That's fantastic. Well, I will be on Creators Row, and I hope I will be at the book launch. Come on now. The book podcast.
You'll be front and center.
All right. So is there anything else you want to add? Now's the time.
I think the most important thing is to talk about the way Carl saw the world. And he was one of those people, if he thought you were complaining about government or your marriage or your work, he would say, well, what are you doing about it? So I'll just leave it right with that. What are you doing about it?
Well, then I want to thank you, Sheryl McCollum, for coming back on the Murder Shelf Book Club podcast.
I appreciate you. And listen, come May, let's get back together. And here's one thing I would love to do. As y'all are talking about the book, I will happily share some of the letters from Carl that nobody's ever seen.
Oh, please, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Yep, we will do that. I'll have you back on. We'll talk about the book. It's out there. It is time for you to buy it and listen to this. That would be great fun.
Let's count
and offer some real insight into this guy.
Yep.
Ooh. Oh, wait, I want to ask you something too.
Okay.
Wildlife CSI, how's it going?
You can't even take what I'm fixing to tell you. So Lake Tobias has agreed to let us come back the first weekend in October. October 2026. Y'all want to be at Lake Tobias to work a mock crime scene with me and Barbara Butcher.
Okay, I'm there. I will go. I will literally go buy my ticket.
You can forget my name is involved. Y'all, that Barbara Butcher, I'm going to tell you, she is the GOAT. She is the standard. So you getting an opportunity to work a scene with her eyes and her ears and her hands. Come on now. Come on now.
Okay. So October 2026.
Yes,
Wildlife CSI, Lake Tobias, Halifax, Pennsylvania, and Barbara Butcher doing a crime scene.
And that's just one day. That's just one. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So I'll see y'all Lake Tobias for sure.
You talk about Nancy Grace's busy girl. When do you sleep?
Honey, I don't require a whole lot of sleep, and that's good. But there's just so much right now that I am loving, I'm enjoying, that fortunately, Walt and the kids and my sisters, everybody's supportive of and goes with me. So I literally get the best of all the worlds. I have my family and friends with me, and you've been in the back seat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have a good time. And you've got animals, and you've got wine, and you've got experts. You've got Scott Duffy and Joe Jackalone and Barbara Butcher. Come on now.
Yeah.
What more could you possibly ask for? So I stay pretty grateful.
You're grateful, you're busy, you're making a huge, huge difference.
Thank you. But these officers are going to get something that I don't even know how to qualify it. It's that fantastic. So Lake Tobias, y'all. Come on.
All righty then. I will put the information out on my blog and just go get your ticket. Yeah. All right. Thank you again for coming on.
Honey, I appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate you being in my Zone 7. Let's go get it.
All righty. Well, that was Sheryl. There is so much to take away from this special episode. featuring Sheryl McCollum talking about her new book, Swans Don't Swim in the Sewer. It is a must-have for any true crime lover. And the holiday seasons are upon us, so that might be really great stocking stuffer. I cannot wait till May to read more of this. This is going to kill me. And you can pre-order or purchase at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Indigo, and I have a link on my blog at www.murdershelfbookclub.com, December 2025. Then we talked about Wildlife CSI. I don't know if you remember, but I went down to Atlanta last summer, 2025, and I did Wildlife CSI with Sheryl, Dr. Priya Banerjee, one of the world's best forensic pathologists, Dr. Laura Petler, and so many other amazing folks, and it was incredible. You can hear me rave about it in episode 125. So in addition, mark your calendars for CRIMECON, which is happening 2 weeks after Sheryl's book is released in Las Vegas, May 29th to 31st, 2026. Do you need a badge? Well, use my code, one word, all lowercase letters, Murder Shelf, and save 10% on your badge. Now, Sheryl will be at CrimeCon. I am going to be back on Creators Row, where we will have time to chat and catch up and talk true crime books and probably have a couple drinks. Don't forget now, my Patreon for this month, December 2025, is happening Thursday, which is tomorrow night. Literally tomorrow night, guys. Today, I'm releasing this on Wednesday, so it's tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do record it. If that doesn't work for you, you just have to join Patreon for $2 to $4 a month, and we discuss true crime books. We explore which books to feature on the podcast, and I am teaching my serial killer class. We will shortly be getting into case studies. And did you know that you can give Patreon membership as a gift? I'll bet you know someone who would love that. Thank you for listening. I see you as you hear me. I have some other special episodes in the works in addition to this one, and they will be dropping in during our off weeks. I give you fascinating content about the best true crime books out there. I truly appreciate you joining me on this journey. If you enjoy the podcast, please share it and leave a positive 5-star review. Our next book is Chasing Down the Zombie Hunter by Troy A. Hillman. Hot off the presses, you need to read this one with me. Chasing Down the Zombie Hunter is an extraordinarily detailed inside story on how an ex-CPA turned detective, Troy Hillman, and an elite team of detectives forge a cold case unit determined to solve a brutal double murder that has haunted Phoenix, Arizona for 2 decades. Somewhere in the cold case files, there must be a clue that was overlooked. But could they find it and get a serial killer off the streets and bring justice to the families? All of my sources, photographs, articles, recipes, drink links are all on my blog. If you have any questions, contact me at jill@murdershelfbookclub.com or follow me on X, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. As the holidays are rolling in, stay safe, stay warm, and lock your doors and windows. Always trust your gut, murder bookies. Written and produced by Jill, all rights reserved. Music, The Pewter Elephant by Blue Dot Sessions.